Hi everyone, I'm Louis Leyva, and I'm here to share my thoughts and life experiences so I can help you on your journey. Welcome everyone to episode 14 of the Louis Leyva podcast. Today we're going to talk about the art of saying no. Forget about it, like the Jersey people say. We're going to talk about how hard it is to master this art and how it could be your most beneficial word. Obviously, we all love being yes men and yes women and telling people, I got you, I'll do whatever I can, I want to be the one to help you. But sometimes we got to learn how to say no. The reason why is because we always have to think, what is going to happen of me if I take this on? There's a lot of things obviously you should say yes to. I'm not saying be that negative person who's always telling someone no, they can't help and this and that. No, I'm not saying that at all. Obviously, you should be very generous. What I'm saying is the deep, impactful things that are going to change things down the line for you significantly, such as taking on more than you should, taking on responsibilities that you know will have a deep impact on your time restraints. These are the things that we learn how to say no to. We have to. If not, we're going to continue going in the same loop and overwhelming ourselves and getting less out of life. Let me give you an example. I want to tell you a story about how I could have said no in my life, but I didn't. I just said yes, and of course, and yeah, I'll do whatever I can to help you. Of course, let me just change my path directly. So a long time ago, when I was probably second, third year into real estate, I was doing really well. My board was always full of deals. I was crushing it, making tons of money. Life was good. And then this guy walks into my office and says, hey, do you want to come and be my sales manager at a mortgage company? Meanwhile, I was doing real estate. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll help you out. And the reason why is because I admired the guy. And I really thought that he was a very successful person, someone I could learn from, someone I'd love to partner with. The opportunity seemed very, very attractive. But all I did was distract myself to the point where I no longer was a top real estate agent. I now started to diversify into a different path altogether where there's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that I personally took on the work myself, which I was trading time for money in real estate, and then I went to trading time for money in mortgages. And I thought in my head, hey, I'm going to do twice as much business. I'm going to make twice as much money. Even though I was very successful in both, I didn't make more money. Strange, right? But it's not. What I learned was that we have a finite amount of time and we can only do a finite amount of things within that time. So the money I was making between the two was basically equivalent or less than the money I was just making in real estate. And I was working harder. And I was splitting myself up between two different lives. It was kind of like an identity crisis I was going through. Was I a real estate agent? Was I a mortgage guy? It was hard to tell. And for a while, I continued this until I found out that, what is my true passion? There came a time when the market crashed and I had both of these things I was juggling, and I wasn't really making much money in either at that point. And I had to ask myself, which one of these two am I really passionate about? Which one do I love? Which one would I continue to do even if the money wasn't there? Even though I'm a numbers guy, I'm very analytical. Mortgages obviously offered that to me, but it wasn't something I was passionate about. I was passionate about making the home buying experience, getting that person their first property, helping that investor get their first flip, helping someone that's in a distressed position offload their property, buy properties, sell properties, fix properties. That was my passion. The mortgage part was just, how would I say, something that I was always curious about. And I wanted to learn it. And I don't regret learning it from the inside out. What I do regret is that I threw my life into a different direction for about 3 years, 4 years maybe. And during that time, I had a lot of rough days and rough times, and money wasn't always there. And I know I could have done tremendous things if I would just stayed focused on just one thing, and I would have crushed it in real estate during those years. But I didn't. I said yes, where I should have said no. And sometimes in life, we do this to ourselves. There had to be a point in my life where I had to say no. Put the blinders on. There's nothing else that you should be looking at. Just look straight. That's why sometimes we have to look at ourselves and say, is this going to serve me? In theory, this sounds great, but is it derailing me from my true passion? Is it taking me into a different direction that I don't need to be in? And a lot of times it is yes. When I had this conversation with myself and I promised myself that I wouldn't get distracted, that I wouldn't go in different directions, that's when my business and my life started to go upwards. I even had another run-in with another business that I wanted to start doing on the side, which was taking my time, and that was insurance. I jumped into insurance for a little while with an amazing individual, and I thought that same thing, this was going to be something I can do on the side, something I can do while I'm doing real estate. It's complementary. The problem is that I didn't set up a business. What I set up was more tasks for myself. So you see a recurring pattern here, right? I wasn't keeping focus long enough to earn enough income and residual and savings from one business to then jump into another. Now, what I've learned over the years is that if I want to get to a certain place, and this works, this will resonate with everyone. I know you're going to definitely agree with me here. In order for you to jump into another business, which may be in line with what you're doing now, you have to make so much money with the first business that it can sustain two businesses. That you have enough money to live off of from the residual income coming in from the net income that you're generating, that it's going to supply all your living expenses. But if it takes you to run the other business, it's going to just take away from the first business. So what I've learned is that once you have enough money for the one business, it should have enough to carry a manager for the other business, because you do not want to be the one doing the work. You want to make sure that you can assign that to someone competent enough to run that business. And once you do, you have that manager, that CEO, or that president, whatever you want to name that person, then you can move into that different direction. So it all starts with being able to say no, so you can focus on that one thing. Look at all the greats throughout history. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, those are two examples in the basketball world. Look at successful business people such as Steve Jobs. You have Warren Buffett. All these people, all they did was one thing great. Just one thing to the max. Because once you do the one thing to the max, then you could look into other things. But sometimes we have so many visions of grandeur that we just want to do everything at once. We want to emulate 30 years of success in 3 years. We can't do that. We have to work our way up there. It all starts by saying no. Saying no sometimes means telling people that you can't help them with something that's going to derail your life. If they're asking you to help them move, if they're asking you to help them with a charity event, if they're asking you for a donation for a cause, of course. I'm not saying be a Grinch and tell people no for everything. I'm saying tell people that you need time to think about it, because you don't make decisions on an impulse. And then go back and ask yourself, will this serve me? Is this taking me in a direction that I want to be in? Sometimes you might be in a rut that you don't want to be in. You might be in a business. You might be in a job. You might be somewhere where you're like, please, someone throw me a lifeline. Give me something. Then, obviously, if the opportunity comes around, you should say, yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But if the opportunity is not in line with your beliefs, not in line with your passion, not in line with something you would do for free because you love it that much, then it's hell no. You have to say no. You have to say no when it won't be the best decision for you. And don't be scared. I know sometimes we don't want to hurt people's feelings. But you know what's going to happen is you're going to give this person false hope. You're going to be in there for God knows how long. Months, years. And then you're going to eventually back out anyway because you're going to be on the brink of a meltdown. And then it's going to be worse. Say no right up front. Tell them, I respect you too much to tell you yes because my heart is not in it. Do you think anyone will hold that against you? And if they do, they're not your friend. They don't care about you anyway. Sometimes we got to say no to relationships that don't serve you. Sometimes we have to say no to things in our life where are going to make us unhealthy. Maybe you want to go out partying Friday night. You know you got something to do Saturday. You know you got big plans for yourself. The answer is no, I do not. But thank you. I appreciate the invite. It used to be almost impossible for me to say no to people. I used to be able to just yes everyone to death and be a people pleaser. That's my biggest problem. I'm a people pleaser. But over time, I realized that by pleasing others, I was killing myself. Making everyone happy sometimes has an adverse effect. Making people happy sometimes will be your destruction. My mother used to tell me all the time as a kid, the only people that really matter are your family and yourself. And those people in your circle who treat you like family. And you know who those people are. So forget about everyone else. Forget about people who show up once in a while and always ask something of you, or people who haven't been in your life and just automatically one day just appear and ask for something. Don't feel obligated to say yes. Even when it's someone close to you, don't just tell them yes because they're your brother, your cousin. You may have a better solution for them. There might be a better person to fit that need that they're looking for than you. There's nothing worse than a partner or someone that's in something who's half in. Got their toe in the water. I'd rather not even have a partner if that's how you're going to be. I'd rather somebody be out completely than someone be warm. You're either hot or you're cold. Yes or no? No, maybe. And if you have struggle with saying no, then start with saying, let me think about it. Because when you do the let me think about it thing, they can't say no. Actually, no, you can't think about it. You got to tell me right now. If that's the case, then the answer is no. I'm sorry, but I need time. And then you go back and you really do some deep searching. For me, that's how I started, because I used to tell people yes for everything. Yes for anything and everything. Take control of your life, guys. Put yourself back on that track that you need to be on, and it starts with telling people no. Telling people, I don't want to go out this weekend. I don't want to have fast food. No, I don't want to go into this business with you that is not in line with what I want to do with my life. No, I can't lend you $1,000 because, hey, I need that money just as much as you. Or, you know what? I'm not in the business of lending money, and I value your friendship too much to put us in that position where I'm going to have to ask you for that money back when I need it. Just say no. If it's you can't, do not feel obligated to say yes to things. Sometimes people want you to commit just because they're ready to commit. Say no. You can't live life for other people. Live life for yourself. You can't start helping other people until you're in a better position. And sometimes getting in that better position means mastering no. As crazy as it may seem, as insane as turning things down may be for you, it's the only way for you to get to where you need to be. I've learned that over the years, simplicity and having less on your plate is what actually makes you better. If it's overcomplicated, it's doomed from the beginning. You need to simplify everything, every aspect of your life, from the beginning to the end, from what you do in the morning to what you do at night. Check it off. Make it routine. Be a machine. Be a master. Until the day comes when you can autopilot your business. Then you could start looking for other opportunities that you can say yes to. Until that day, say it with me, guys. It's not hard. The answer is a resounding hell no. You like the sound of that, right? Hell no. Say it with me, guys. Hell to the no. It's just easy. It's the same word in multiple languages. Might be pronounced a little differently, but the answer is no. Ever ask yourself why that is? Even in Spanish, the word for yes is not yes, but the word for no is still no. Maybe God's trying to tell us something. Maybe whoever came up with all these languages said, this word is so important, we're just going to make it the same everywhere. I'm not sure how many other languages have it, but I guarantee you there's more than one. So if you learn any word, if you're learning a new language, start with no. Less is more. Follow your heart. Put the blinders on. Look straight. Don't get distracted. Everything that's shiny and glitters is not gold. Sometimes I think about some of my most profitable moments and some of the most profitable deals. And I think back on the properties that I didn't buy and opportunities that I didn't take. And I look at what of a loss those deals were going to be. And I recently sat on a panel and a lady was pitching a property. And I was supposed to let her know if I thought it was a good deal or not. I was sitting on a panel like a Shark Tank panel. And I told her it wasn't a good deal for her. And I told her to back out. And I said, sometimes the best deals we do are the ones that we let go, the ones we say no to. And basically at that moment, everybody in the audience was like, oh, that was deep. But it's true. Sometimes your most profitable endeavors are the ones that you don't do, because those could cost you a tremendous amount of money, time, aggravation. So those are my closing thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you are saying no to and what you're going to say no to. If you love this podcast, give us a review. If you hate it and you think I suck, leave me a review. And then I will say no. No, I'm just joking. Thank you guys. I appreciate you listening today. As always, stay safe, and I'll check you next time. Have a great day. Bye.